How are we doing? And welcome back to another video. This is the Fighters Forecast. This is Tennant here to break down UFC Fight Night at the Apex. This is Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Guys, we had a decent week last week, but our companion Christos had a better week. He hit Dr. Nurgazai by decision. If you guys watched my video, you saw I had Rafael Tobias in that fight. He did not. He made some great dough there, plus 600 for Christos. I had a couple parlays, but sadly, the hammer of the week loss. I'll get into that more in the next video. Um, just a bit unfortunate that our hammer of the week lost because that is my most confident play whenever I put it out to you guys. Plus money just couldn't get it done. I'll explain to you why in a different video, but recapping that fight card, pretty shit. Pretty shit, I'm not gonna lie. We called Charles Oliveira was gonna wrestle. If you rewatch that video, you can go to the Charles Oliveira's time. I said Charles Oliveira was gonna wrestle. That's what I said. I said I didn't think he'd care about the BMF. I think he'd care about getting a win. And Charles Oliveira did just that. He was not Charles Oliveira action mode. He was Charles Oliveira win mode. Totally fine. Your objective in this sport is to win fights, not make it exciting. Now, I understand the BMF belt is to make it exciting. You don't need to win that belt. That's not a real belt. I understand. But Charles, he wants to take the least amount of damage as possible. He wants to go to the easiest direction the fight needs to go for him to win. It's exactly what he did. Absolutely dominant performance by Charles Oliveira. We called it. That was our dog of the night, Charles Oliveira, and he cashed us out. So we love Charles, and we're gonna keep pushing through, and we're gonna push through and break down this card here, Emmet versus Vallejos. The previous card was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple knockouts, a couple boring decisions. This card though has amazing matchups that I will be talking about shortly. Like always, guys. Hope you're having a good day. Like, subscribe, do whatever you can to help the channel out. We're gonna break this card from bottom to top like we always do. And without further ado, guys, first up, we have Elijah Smith against Sung Young Yu. Elijah Smith is a prospect I've watched for quite some time now. I watched one of the Dana White Contender Series. He looked pretty good. The only thing I have a problem with Elijah Smith is his cardio. His dad's his coach. Elijah Smith is very good wrestling. His striking has been improving at a tremendous rate. He looks very good. He looked very good in his UFC debut. But he fights a guy here in Sung Young Yu, which is a grappler. Sung Young Yu is a dominant grappler that loves control over submission. Sung Young Yu loves to be in half guard. He loves to control where the fight takes place. The problem is Elijah Smith is extremely good in the wrestling department as well. So this pretty much comes down to who do you think has the better wrestling? With also Elijah Smith's striking's better by quite some margin. So if he is able to stuff the takedowns of Sung Yuk Yu, or if he's able to reverse the takedowns of Suk Yuk Yu, he's going to win this fight. And in my opinion, that's exactly what happens. I think Elijah Smith keeps his fight standing. I think he has good fight IQ. I think him and his dad are tape watching. They know who Suk Yuk Yu is. Just a grappler, not great striking. So if Elijah Smith stays on the outside, gets his leg kicks going, chops the tree, gets a jab in Sung Young Yu's face, he's going to win this fight by decision or by KO. All he needs to do is stay away from the grappling, stuff the takedowns of Sung Young Yu, and win on the feet. Give me Elijah Smith in this matchup. Next fight, we got Luan Lacerda against Hector Sosa. Luan Lacerda is kind of a BJJ nerd, but he will throw. Luan Lacerda, I've seen some videos, and I know he's one guy's lock of the week, but I don't really understand why. He's fighting a guy in Hector Sosa who's extremely wild. Hector Sosa throws everything with all ill intent. Hector Sosa is an absolute monster in the striking department. He throws to take your head off. He has great 1-2s. He has great wide hooks. And Hector Sosa is a lot of fun as well. This fight, 135, Hector Sosa, in my opinion, he's not the better grappler in a sense because Luan Lacerda has BJJ. He is good in that sense, but he is the better striker by a good amount. So give me Hector Sosa in this matchup. I think he stays on the outside. He stuffed the takedowns of Luan Lacerda, and he gets a nice KO or decision victory here. Next fight, we have Balaji Oki against Manuel Souza. Guys, I was high on Balaji Oki in the past. I picked him to beat Chris Duncan. That did not go. He stuffed his head. He put his head on a guillotine. And Balaji Oki, the problem with him, he doesn't have good fight IQ. That's the problem with Balaji Oki. He's a good fighter. He has decent takedown defense. He has good striking. He just doesn't have the fight IQ. We all know who Manuel Souza is. We watched him on the Dana White Contender Series. He is a guy that's beaten Mauricio Ruffi in a regional promotion before. He has insane striking, insane power, insane dexterity, insane combinations. Manuel Souza is a monster on the feet, and you're going to see that this weekend. If Balaji decides to wrestle, he could have a chance here because Manuel Souza is not the best grappler, but he's decent. The problem is Manuel Souza is the better striker. So in this matchup, in a mostly striking matchup, I'm going to take Manuel Souza against Balaji for sure. He has the harder hands, throws with more power, throws more volume. Give me Manuel Souza in this matchup by knockout. Next fight, we have Chris the Action Man Curtis against Muktabek Oroblai. Guys, I love Muktabek Oroblai. This guy is a lot of fun to watch. I know you guys may go, oh, he's a weight bully. You know, he missed weight on purpose and beat Tafik Masayev. I get it. Sure, that makes sense. But he has phenomenal wins on the record. He beats Tafik Musayev. Um, who else did he just beat? He beat Uros Medic, the guy who's got a huge win against what's the guy's name? Jeff Neal. You know, he has some good wins here, but he's fighting a guy in Chris Curtis who's bigger than all the opponents he's fought before. Chris Curtis looked good coming down to 170 from 185 to fight Max Griffin. You look good. You look crisp. You know, we all know who Chris Curtis is. He's got great striking and pretty good takedown defense. Here, in my opinion, I think Muktabek's going to make this fight extremely ugly. We've seen him in the past. He does what he wants to get the win. He's not there to be entertaining, even though he is. He does what he wants that'll get him the easiest path to a victory. And Muktabek Oroblai, in my opinion, is going to put on the pressure. He's going to clinch against the fence. He's going to land big shots on the clinch and maybe get a takedown. If he gets the takedown, which is a big if here, this will be a sub. Muktabek will win by sub. If he does not get the takedown, Oroblai, I wouldn't say he could fade because he's shown he has good cardio. But I think Chris Curtis can maybe pull ahead in just the raw striking aspect of MMA. But in my opinion, Muktabek Oroblai closes the gap. He gets to the clinch on the fence, and he gets a trip takedown on Chris Curtis, which later he either gets a ground and pound victory or he gets a sub when Chris Curtis gives him his back. Give me Muktabek Oroblai in this matchup. Next fight, we got two old heads fighting. Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. Brad Tavares, this guy has fought everybody in the middleweight division. Brad Tavares is known for his iron chin, but is it gone? Is it gone at the age of 40 for Brad Tavares? Eric Anders, also 40. You know, both are really old. Brad Tavares, in my opinion, is more clean than Eric Anders. I think he's better wrestling, and he's better wrestling defense as well. So this is going to be a mostly strikers matchup. And Brad Tavares has great leg kicks. And Brad Tavares has a great jab up the middle. In my opinion, Eric Anders needs to fight dirty in this matchup. He needs to do dirty boxing. He needs to rush in. He needs to get on the fence. He needs to get in the clinch to win this matchup. I don't think he has any of that left. I'm gonna go Brad Tavares in this matchup. I think he's cleaner. He's got better takedown defense, and in my opinion, a better chin and better cardio. So give me Brad Tavares in this matchup. Next, we got Bruno Silva against Charles Johnson. Bruno Silva just hits hard. Bruno Silva is a monster in the 125 flyweight division. He has one punch KO power in this division, but he's not a great fighter. Bruno Silva has decent BJJ, not great output or cardio. You know, he's decent. He's just decent. He beats the low level guys, and then once he takes that step up, he'll lose. And that's why in this fight, he's going to lose to Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson, we've seen him. He is the hype train fraud checker. Charles Johnson puts a nice 1-2 down the pipe. He's kind of like a Peter Yan-esque, in my opinion. Charles Johnson downloads data in the first round, and then he gets your feints, then he gets your movement, then he times all his strikes to what he wants to throw. Charles Johnson ramps it up as the fight goes on, and I think he's fantastic. I like Charles Johnson a lot. He will start kicking the legs of Bruno Silva. He will stay on the outside. He'll pop a jab right in the face of Bruno Silva. A nice 2 down the pipe for Charles Johnson. And in my opinion, he cruises here to a decision victory or a late finish. So give me Charles Johnson in this matchup. Next fight, we got Vitor Petrino against Steven Asplund. And I hate this fight, guys, because I like both these dudes. Both these dudes are my hype trains in the heavyweight division. You know, sadly, they got to fight each other, and one has to lose here. I'm going to break this down. I was on Vitor Petrino since Dana White Contender Series when he got rid of Rodolfo Bellato. This guy's an absolute specimen. You just look at him. A monster. You know, in my opinion, Vitor Petrino is going to have the cleaner technique in this matchup. He's way better on the ground. The problem with Vitor Petrino is he's kind of a pussy. Vitor Petrino has shown that he does not care if he loses. He lost to who was it? It was Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby. He got KO'd. Just seemed like he didn't care. Maybe he's just kind of not. Maybe he's trying to be a nonchalant dreadhead or some stuff. I don't know. But Vitor Petrella showed he didn't really care. And I don't like picking guys that don't care if they lose. They're there to I guess, pick up a check. They're there to do their thing, whatever. The problem is here he's fighting a guy in Steven Asplin who is the exact embodiment of not quitting. Steven Asplin's a concrete guy, used to be 500 pounds. He's dropped half his weight in order to compete in the heavyweight division. And it may not look good, but Steven Asplin has concrete hands. Steven Asplin has good cardio, and his last fight he showed he had amazing volume here. The problem is Vitor Petrino going to shoot? That's the problem, and in my opinion, he is. In my opinion, the striking is extremely close, but the grappling's not. Vitor Petrino, in my opinion, shoots. The problem with Vitor is he gets tired, he's a quitter, and he's a pussy. I like both these guys, like I've said. It's hard for me to pick Vitor here. I don't want to pick him. I don't believe Vitor is going to win this matchup. I think if he doesn't have early success and Steven Asplin starts tagging this guy and just jabbing him to shit like he did against Sean Sharaf, he's going to win here. And I'm going to take a shot on the dog here. I'm going to go Steven Asplin by second round KO. I think he has the grit. I think he has the will. I think he has the hands here to beat Vitor Petrino. And I think he can stuff the takedowns against the fence. At least I hope he can. And I think he gets a win here by decision or by KO. If it's by KO, it's second round KO when Vitor starts to give up, starts to get tired, and he will go out. Give me Steven Asplin as the dog. Next fight, we got Marwan Rahiki against Harry Hardwick. These guys are the two champions of their own regional promotions. One in Australia, which is Marwan Rahiki, and one in England, which is Harry Hardwick. Harry Hardwick, we saw him fight Kyle Fernandez. He got his legs chopped to shit. Now, I understand Kyle Fernandez has one of the best leg kicks in the 145 division. He's phenomenal at leg kicks. He's looked fantastic recently. He beat Guram to shit. He beat Harry Hardwick to shit. And he's a dark horse in this division. The problem is here, Harry Hardwick's pretty complete. And I don't know if Marwan Rahiki has the leg kicks to slow him down just like Caillou did. Marwan Rahiki, we saw him get dropped a couple of times by Malumu and Dana White Contender Series. He looked pretty good. He showed grit. He showed toughness. He showed that he was not going to give up until his body gave up. He got dropped twice, and he came back with a finish KO. Absolutely impressive here. Like I said, this is a regional MMA championship title fight. Marwan Rahiki is the better striker in this matchup, in my opinion. I think he beats Harry Hardwick unless Harry Hardwick clinches against the fence and he finds beautiful success in the takedowns. Then yes, he could win. But in my opinion, Marwan Rahiki has the better takedown defense. He has the better striking by a good amount. And I think he can chop the legs of Harry Hardwick here, which he has shown to be susceptible to. So give me Marwan Rahiki. He's got the grit. He's got great technique and volume. And he's got the heart to never give up. Give me Marwan Rahiki here by decision or by KO in this matchup. Moving on to the main card, we got Andre Fili against Jose Miguel Delgado. I love Jose Miguel Delgado, guys. This guy is a ton of fun. Throws with all the power he can, lots of volume to try and get you out of there. This guy was one of my hype trains in the 145 division before losing against Nathaniel Wood. He still is my hype train. I do like this guy a lot in the 145 division. And he's fighting another striker in Andre Fili here. Andre Fili, loves to throw with a tight boxing guard. He's looked pretty good in his last couple matchups. But in my opinion, Jose Miguel Delgado is going to be the better striker here. He has better kicks. He's got better boxing combinations. He has the better cardio. I don't think Andre Fili's shooting. I think it's going to be a striker's delight. I think Jose Delgado was going to knock this guy out, and he's going to surge, and he's going to move up in the rankings of the featherweight division. Next fight, we got Umar Sy against Ion Cutelaba. Guys, if you know Umar Sy, we know him of being a pussy against Alonzo Menafield. The guy didn't throw a single strike. Probably one of the worst fights I've ever watched in my life. Literally a staring contest in an octagon. He then came back and won his next fight. He looked pretty good doing it as well. The problem is Umar Sy just going to beat bums? Is his record stat padded? I don't know. He's fighting Ion Cutelaba, who I don't like as well. I don't believe this guy's any good. The thing with Ion Cutelaba, though, he's going to throw regardless. Ion Cutelaba will throw and throw and throw until he gets knocked out or until he gets the knockout. And in my opinion, I don't know if Umar Sy is going to be able to tough it up and grit it out. Like, all these French guys are a bunch of pussies, man. Kevin Doucet, big pussy. Umar Sy, big pussy. All these guys piss me the fuck off. They're all low volume fighters. They think they're so technical. You know, you're not Cyril Gane, buddy. Cyril Gane's an exception. You're not. You're a low level 205er. You should beat fucking Ion Cutelaba. If you can't beat Ion Cutelaba, you're a bum and you should be cut. Umar Sy is the better offensive wrestler. He's the better striker in this matchup if he lets his hands go. Umar Sy is the better fighter, and if he can't beat Ion Cutelaba, you should cut him. It's that simple. Cutelaba's more of a grappler than a striker, and he's not the better grappler here. So Umar Sy should absolutely win this matchup. I'm going to take him to win, but I don't like it. Last fight, we got Josh Emmett against Kevin Vallejos. Josh Emmett, you know, he's made a name for himself after getting 10-7 by Ilya Taporia. Whatever. You know what I mean? This guy's fully past his prime. This is a setup fight for Kevin Vallejos here. Josh Emmett's been getting fucking beat to shit recently. Just lost to by Zalal, by sub. Fighting a prospect here in Kevin Vallejos, who I'm extremely high on. I watched this fight in the Contender Series against Jean Silva, my boy. As we all know, I am a big John Silva glazer. Happy John won, but I knew this kid was going to be seen again. Took John to deep waters in that matchup. Kevin Vallejos has extremely good boxing. He's got good takedown defense, but he's very small for this weight class. It's good though. He's fighting Josh Emmett. He's not big for this weight class either. Kevin Vallejos boxing combinations are a thing of beauty, and I like this guy a lot in the 145 division. I think he gets this fight done via round 3 or 4 KO. We've seen Josh Emmett be tough. The problem is Vallejos will find the mark eventually, in my opinion. Vallejos is a monster. You're going to keep seeing this name. He's going to climb the ranks. I've been on this guy for quite a while after watching that John Silva fight, and he is going to get a KO here. So give me Kevin Vallejos in this matchup, guys. Thank you for watching. You know, I hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys can place your bets accordingly. You know, after hearing my picks, hearing my breakdowns, hopefully it's helped you out. Maybe it's switched some of your minds, which is fantastic. And, you know, like I said, like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. You're going to see a hammer of the week soon. I'm sorry we lost last week. You know, Luke Fernandez fucked us. He was looking good, and he just got dropped. Other than that, Dante Johnson won. Fight to start round 2 in the Charles Oliveira Max Holloway fight. It hit as well. We're going to get back with another hammer this week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.